Welcome to part 2. Now, before we go into the issue of celebrations before murder, I promised yesterday to give you another example. It's good maybe we look at this issue of assassinations during road accidents. Kenyans have a right to be wary of Gakuru Wahome's death of a road accident because the country has got a history of people being bumped off during alleged road accidents. And in any case, this will prepare us well for the bombshell that is coming later on in this recording. Okay? Perhaps the most prominent, memorable, high-profile assassination during a road accident or alleged road accident was a man called Ronald Ngala. Ronald Ngala was a cabinet minister, a very prominent Kenyan. But before I go to that, the reason why I've chosen that over the one of Agwing's Godek, is because the Agwing's Godek one, there was no car even that was ever shown. We were just told it was a road accident and the body was produced for burial. There was no even close examination of the body, which is instructive because almost over 30 years later, when Mwai Kibaki took over power, I think the guilt conscience just weighed on him, and he instructed government departments to release the information. It was released to the Kenya National Archives, and it was reported that actually Agwing's Kodek did not die from the injuries of a road accident, but he died from bullet wounds, and the bullet was fired from a police-issued rifle. Okay, that's the story which came out. And even stranger, the Agwing's Godek alleged road accident happened in Nairobi. You expect a road accident to happen somewhere where you can speed. It happened in Kilimani, along the road which most people know is called after him, Agwing's Godek Road. He actually died on that road, allegedly, very close to the Yaya Center. Okay. Anyway, actually the junction of Agwing's Godek Road and Wood Avenue. Those who know Kilimani area well, you will be able to know the area. Anyway, on to Ronald Ngala. Actually, to date, there's no other authoritative leader that has taken over the whole of Coast Province and can be recognized in the whole of Coast Province like Ronald Ngala was. Ali Hassan Joe is fairly popular, but his support is mainly based in Mombasa Island, okay, and the environs. And Amason Kingi is in Kilifi, okay. Now, just to give you a picture, Ronald Ngala was Ali Hassan Joho, Amason Kingi, and Mvuria down in Kwale. Then multiply that times 2. All combined times 2. That's how popular, that's how strong the man was in Mombasa. He had total grassroots support. And little wonder he was the founding leader of KADU, Kenya African Democratic Union, which KANU finished off. By using same old tactics that I used up to today. They bribed officials to cross the floor, and when it was realized that it was only Ronald Ngala, Daniel Arap Moi, and Masinde Muliro left, only 3 prominent people left in the party, the 3 met and decided to cross the floor. They did not have any other option. Therefore Jomo's tactics worked. But Ngala continued to be a threat to the Jomo government. Yes, he was a threat because he was outspoken. In fact, there's a very fascinating incident described in a book written by a man called Koigi Wamwere. Koigi Wamwere is a former parliamentarian somewhere in the Rift Valley. He's very well known. Now, Wamwere has a very fascinating tale to tell. Ronald Ngala, of course, was a former teacher headmaster, so he was quite eloquent. And he took the floor in parliament and gave Kenyatta a proper dressing down, as a leader of the opposition, criticizing his government, criticizing his approach, appointments, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. According to Wamwere, Kenyatta was in the house because he was not yet president, he was still prime minister, old parliamentary system. And of course the prime minister sits in the house sometimes, because he's the leader of the party with the majority. And so as Ngala's dressing down went on, Kenyatta reached into his pocket, and it was lucky because the speaker then, a Mzungu called Sir Humphrey Slade, noticed that Kenyatta was reaching into his pocket for a gun, believe it or not, And I don't know if he wanted to shoot the guy right there in Parliament or just wanted to destroy him. I have no idea. But Humphrey Slade intervened and said, "Stop that. This is Parliament." Yeah, and Jomo returned his weapon back. You know, you're not even supposed to carry weapons into the Parliament, yeah? Anyway, that was Koigi Omore's tale. Anyway, the year was 1972. It was actually Jamhuri Day. Ronald Gala was driving hurriedly back into the city, supposedly to take part in the Jamhuri Day celebrations. Okay, he was a cabinet minister in charge of communications, transport and communications at that time. After folding up KADU, of course, all KADU prominent members were given cabinet posts. Now, around the Konza area, he was allegedly involved in a road accident, and he had very serious head injuries, and he never talked again. Yeah, he was rushed to hospital. He actually passed on Christmas Day, 1972. Now, the driver of his vehicle, the story gave police, was that a swarm of bees, yeah, invaded his vehicle. And when he was trying to protect himself, blah, 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 he lost control of the car and the car rolled several times. Now, fascinatingly, he later changed his story in court. Yeah? Now, by the time of this recording, I was not able to get the details of how he changed his story, but I've been familiar for many years with the bee story. Now, Ronald Gala had a son who served in the Moi government, Katana Ngala. Okay? Is well known, and most Kenyans will remember him. And interestingly, I mention him because he led the family in 2012 in appealing to the government to open fresh investigations so that the family can have closure, because nobody in the family believes that he died from a road accident. At the time of his death, he had announced that he wanted to vie for chairman of KANU. Okay. Now, interestingly, those elections kept being put off, but then immediately died, the elections were held. Wow. Secondly, Ronald Gala was a very authoritative politician. Yeah, remember he was in the 1957 first 8 African elected leaders. You know, the first Africans to be called Mheshimiwa. Yeah, which happened in 1957. Okay. For the sake of those who like details, it's good that today I mention the others who are in the list of 8. It was Ronald Gala, Tomboy, of course, Oginga Odinga, father to Raila Odinga, of course, Lawrence Oguda, Masinde Muliro, Daniel Arap Moi, Bernard Mate, and a man called James Muimi from Ukambani. Okay? In those days, Nyanza was divided into 2 as far as the African leaders were concerned. So one part of Nyanza was Oginga Odinga, of course. The other part of Nyanza was Lawrence Oguda. Yeah, this is the side of Kisii, Kuri, and so on. And so Ronald Gala was like a hindrance to the Jomo government to do what they wanted, you know, without anybody, without having to look over their shoulder, yeah. Of course, they had gotten rid of the other major Mugumo tree standing in their way, Tom Mboya in 1969, okay. Arguing Skodek to a small extent, yes. They had also dealt with Jaramogi Oginga Odinga by sending him back to Bondo, yeah, and putting him literally under house arrest, no political activity whatsoever, yeah. So there's only this guy who remained from Mombasa, this bigwig from Mombasa, Ronald Gala. Now it's very interesting because after Ronald Gala's death, the major land grabbing, acquisition, etc., dirty deals in Mombasa started happening. Yeah, his death opened the door. So definitely was a kind of hindrance to that kind of activity. Yeah. So of course all this points to the fact that he was assassinated. Ronald Gala hailed from Kilifi, okay, but when he spoke for the whole of Coast. He was tribeless. When he spoke, didn't speak as a Giriama. He spoke for the entire Coast province resoundingly, yeah, and with authority. A great Kenyan, yeah, and future governments should make sure they give his family a closure, yeah, and they make sure that this man gets the proper recognition he deserves in the history, in the annals of the history of the Republic of Kenya. Anyway, my apologies for that long aside, but I think it's important to set the stage for what we want to discuss now. Now, before Kalonzo Musyoka entered into politics, he had a godfather called Mulu Mutisia. And of course, Mulu Mutisia, Kalonzo Musyoka came into Mulu Mutisia's life because unlike the other lawyers, especially the Kamba lawyers, Kalonzo Musyoka respected Mulu Mutisia and it is said he even knelt down before Mulu Mutisia, yeah, which really touched the old illiterate man. Yeah, he had never seen the inside of a classroom. So because of this, they developed a very close bond, and of course Kalonzo Musyoka knew what he wanted. He wanted to be ushered into politics because he had tried to make an attempt to enter parliament and had been unsuccessful. Okay, the constituency he wanted to vie for had a political giant. That political giant was, of course, Philip Manando, who used to garner so many votes, was so influential in the constituency like never before, that it was widely rumored and believed by constituents that the man used witchcraft. Mulu Mutisia, a traditional Kamba man, it goes without saying. He was also well known for Kamote, as the Mkambas like to call it. Now, there was a celebration, very major celebration, where several bulls, I can't remember the number, 7 or 8 bulls were slaughtered, yeah, in honor of Kalonzo Musyoka. And it is said that during that celebration, Mulu Mutisia vowed to get the young Kalonzo into parliament, yeah, very soon. Now, many people linked that particular activity of the slaughtering of the bulls to serious witchcraft, okay? Anyway, let's see what happened next. Now, what happened next was just bizarre. An administration policeman walked up to Philip Manando and just shot him dead, just like that. Yeah, he was later arrested. He was taken for mental assessment. You know, the whole thing was so confusing. The mystery has never really been answered. How that incident really happened. Yeah, but meanwhile, there's a parliamentary seat which was vacant, and the rest is history. Kalonzo Musyoka won those by-elections, and he entered parliament, and he has never looked back since. Yeah. Now, fast forward to the present. The late Nyeri governor Wahome Gakuru falls out with his main political backer, financial backer as well, engineer, as we mentioned yesterday, engineer Kinyua Kimuri, yes, and barely 3 or 4 days later, as I said in part 1 of this recording, Bwana Kimuri has a very large celebration in his house, which is strange because you're falling out with your investment, yes, because when you back somebody politically, it's really an investment, yes, because you expect when this person comes to power, you're going to be able to recoup your finances many times over, yes, make huge profits from it. Now that road is completely shut because the governor Wahome Gakuru replaces him, yes, actually shuns him kabisa, anamtoa kabisa, yeah, and he goes solo. Actually replaced him with a man called Nashon Mungore, yeah. So how do you celebrate that? Sorry, my apologies, it's actually Nashon Mungora, yeah. So how do you celebrate that? We've been pushed out, yeah. You've invested millions, double-digit millions, definitely, yeah, because Governor Gakuru's campaign was a very well-oiled campaign, and by well-oiled, you know what I mean, finances. Pesa ilikuwa na mwagika. Now, I just remembered the Kalonzo case, yes, because big celebration, bizarre incident, the guy is in parliament, okay? In the same way, we see here big celebration, very bizarre incident, yeah, very bizarre accident, yeah, and then now wait to see what happens next. Folks, witchcraft, that's what it is. Now, this very evil black thing, very little is known about it, yes. In fact, for very many years I was completely ignorant about what it involves, okay, and exactly what witchcraft is, yes. I just used to take it very casually. Until I happened, you know, my paths crossed with a pastor who specializes in praying for people, a Pentecostal pastor who specializes in preaching, yeah, and praying and ministering to people, yes, who are under witchcraft spells. And he had a very interesting program. I don't know still if he still has it, because it was quite a number of years back. He had a very interesting program where people would come into his church on Saturdays, and those who are free on Thursday mornings, I think, if I'm not very wrong, for a year and over, yeah, every Thursday, every Saturday morning, etc., etc. And he would teach them from the Bible exactly what is involved. Then they would pray over various areas, mainly spiritual anti-witchcraft. I thank God for that man of God. Yeah, Simu to a 10% is not rich, but God has used him mightily to open eyes of people. Yeah. So this is really what it is. Now, on closer investigation, I came up with some very fascinating information. Yes. Now, the general view amongst Kenyans is that witchcraft is for Kambani, witchcraft is for Nyanza, Western, those areas. Yeah. But Central Province witchcraft, hakuna. Now, this is not true. Okay. In fact, the Nyeri area is a very serious witchcraft area. That really shocked me. There was even a colonial administrator. He was quoted in a certain book I read. I can't quite remember what the book was about. I can't remember the title of the book. Yeah, but I came across passages of it in my research, and he wrote a report about some very serious witchcraft incidences in the Nyeri area. Yeah, remember also the Nyeri area was the center of the Mau Mau struggle. Yeah, that was the big city, big town near the Mau Mau struggle. Yeah, because the Mau Mau struggle was from around the Nyeri area. Then remember also something else. Nyeri is very close to Mount Kenya. Now Mount Kenya is a high point. Okay. Now in witchcraft, high points are critical. Anybody who understands witchcraft. Now we'll come back to this witchcraft issue later on. Let's now go back to the accident scene and let's tie up a few things. Let's begin to tie up things now so that we get a clearer picture of exactly what might have happened. Now, according to experts, when you take all the facts that we have gone through, all the facts of these incidents, the eyewitness reports, conflicting reports, the long stories from so-called expert eyewitnesses, etc., etc., all the accident scene points in one direction. And that direction is what is called a stage-managed accident. It is like a play or a film, as kind of drama, where you have a script and you want to achieve a certain objective. Yeah, at the end of that scene, you want to have things in a certain way. Yeah, and so you just go ahead and you stage manage it. Now, the stage managing of the whole aspect is to cover up normally a murder. In the case of Ronald Ngala and in the case of Agwings Kodek, there was very little stage, if any, stage management. Yeah, because in those days the society was not the way it was today. Yeah, if the police told you something, it was gospel truth. There were no journalists to dig around. There was no freedom of information. Yes, there would even be cases where journalists would be scared to approach a police station. Yeah, so shooting somebody with a police-issued rifle, yeah, and then telling people he died from a road accident definitely would not have flown, like in the case of Agwix Kodek. Yeah, or having a driver tell a tall tale about bees attacking the car, that also would have been suspicious. So why not have a dramatic event? Yes, a road accident, wrecked car, which everybody can see. Yeah, that would be easier for people to buy. Now, the expert witness gave us a very important clue that would support this theory. Okay, he was very, very insistent on the time the accident happened. Yeah, why was the time so important? Yes, he kept on insisting. It was exactly was it 10 minutes to 6, something like that? Yeah, he gave an exact time. Now, if you're driving behind a vehicle, yeah, one other important point. If you're driving behind a vehicle, would you be able to see exactly how the accident happened? Yeah, this is the other thing about that expert eyewitness. He had X-ray vision. And 360 vision at that. He was able to see everything that happened behind that scene. Okay? Yeah. So this was a stage. All evidence, all the facts before us point to a stage-managed accident. Now I can see we've taken up quite a lot of time. I'm afraid I'll have to continue this with a part 3. But meanwhile, you have a lot to chew on. Yeah. Now I'll finish the final part. Yeah, and I'll try my best to finish it as early as possible, so that in the early hours of tomorrow you should be able to have it. Yes, I'll try my best. Yeah, or at the very least before the end of the day you should have it, so that we tie up this mystery and we solve it once and for all. Now, of course, that means the section about the pastor, crazy bizarre. Yeah, where he tells us exactly what happened. Yeah. And this is a spiritual man. This is the man who predicted, as I told you yesterday, prophesied correctly about all the events that have taken place in Kenyan politics up to this point. He has never gotten anything wrong. And remember, he has given some way out prophecies, like, oh, the 8th of August will not produce a president, yeah? Then the elections come, there's a petition, it's thrown out unexpectedly. Then he says, oh, the 26th of October, even that will not produce a president. Then you wonder, what's this guy talking about? But now we can see it unfolding, okay? So make sure you catch that. Thank you very much, Club 1999 members. Please bear with me. I like to be very meticulous. I like to be very detailed, so that what I present to you is not something half-baked, yeah? So we'll tie in everything very quickly tomorrow. Yeah, I'd hoped to do that today, but it didn't work out. Let's do it tomorrow in the third and final part of this series. Thank you very much. Till tomorrow. God bless. This is Chris Kumekucha.